another night descends over Malamala. The deepening drought ratchets up the pressure on all frontline combatants. Like high-tech weaponry, super predators operate within certain tolerances. Less food means more aggression. Tension is palpable. Tonight, Kim hopes to shadow the forces of the Irefield Pride. And there they are. Lions specialize in night attacks, as Kim knows from long experience. That's why he's wary of becoming collateral damage. A lion at night is pumped for conflict.
The lions are on the move at the moment, and I'm just trying to get myself into position. These guys dominate the situation out here because of their brute force, and they operate in numbers, working in a pride. In the day, they're quite timid to my presence. But at night, they're extremely different characters to what they are in the daytime, and can be extremely aggressive at night. So I have to be very aware of this and operate accordingly.
The lions are headed straight for him. Emboldened by darkness, they paint a new target. Time to warn them off.
Attack!
After looking Kim over, the Pride apparently decides there are less noisy pickings elsewhere. Kim trails the lion's nighttime incursion. Unknown to the lions across the battlefield, a different fighting force is on the move. It's the Hyena clan, out on night patrol. Females lead this squad. The leader, like all female hyenas, is larger and fiercer than any of the males. Though they look like dogs, hyenas are more closely related to cats. Neither cat nor dog. They are all killer. The lions, meanwhile, are having no luck. The king of beasts doesn't know to stay downwind of its prey, so the Pride's scent is spooking everything. Everything but the kudu, which is by sheer chance upwind of the lions. An antelope distinctive for its size and magnificent horns, the kudu has large, keen ears. But tonight, the lions are running silent. Kudu is a windfall, larger than the impalas the Pride has been bringing down lately. But it won't satisfy a dozen adult lions, let alone uninvited guests. The hyenas pick up some chatter. With their radar dish ears swiveling, they acquire their target. The unmistakable sounds of a kill rocket across Mala Mala. Now they take off across the battlefield. Though hyenas in this area kill more than they scavenge, they're certainly not going to pass up someone else's hard-won rations. To be killed by lions is not a good way to die. Their carving tools are efficient and merciless. Youngsters, as always, must wait their turn. They know their place in the ranks at the kill. And the lion's share inevitably goes to the commander. But here come the hyenas. Extraordinary times bring extraordinary sights. War has its own logic. A pair of hyenas and a single lioness, eternal enemies on this and every battlefield, quietly share the spoils of war. They fear the males more than they hate each other.
Seeing these two feeding together like this was just amazing, and I think it is because the hyenas realized that if they caused too much havoc, the rest of the pride would come running back, so they called this sort of truce with this lioness, and they fed together until she felt intimidated by the presence of all of them there and moved on. Will not last long, Kim knows. Until rain knocks tensions back to a simmer, Mala Mala marches towards chaos. The rains are months overdue, and there is hell to pay. The Irefield Pride keeps producing cubs, but the cubs keep dying. The hyenas breed several times each year, but haven't bred for months. High above the battlefield, the symbol of death hangs in the sky. But even a symbol has to eat. A hippo has fought with a rival over a disappearing waterhole and died of his wounds. And the battlefield scavengers are having a field day. The hyena can barely believe his luck. If only he can get rid of the enemy. Vultures are an overlooked force on this killing ground. Looters who arrive after the battle is fought. Nearby, a squadron of white-backed vultures has cornered a cheetah and her yearling cub. Their objective? An impala the big cat's just killed. The mother cheetah eats while the eating is good. Her youngster, too green to know better, tries to chase off the poachers. But it's no use.
cheetahs have invested so much in their stealth fighter mode of attack that they have no real defenses. No power, poor weapons, and so they give way to lowly scavengers. The brutal pressure in this combat area is too intense for the cats. They push on in search of a more forgiving place. In this drought, it's doubtful that they'll find it. Her cub, at least, is alive. They're not all so lucky. In a tree, Kim finds a casualty of the predator's war. It's a dead leopard cub, killed by an adult male, now being eaten by its own mother. As always, the hyena shadows the leopard and reaps his gruesome reward. A hardened witness to battle, Kim accepts such disturbing sights without much pause. But even he is beginning to wonder what will happen if the rains don't come.
Well, the drought is really soldiering on now and getting intense, putting major stress on all the animals, the predators and the prey. It's a situation that is not a pleasant one to be witnessing, but I haven't seen it like this before, and where this is going to go is really hard to say, but it's definitely heading for one massive disaster, and the only thing that can stop this is going to be rains, which we can only expect now in another 6 to 8 months' time.
On the battlefield of Mala Mala, the rainy season has passed, with almost no life-giving rain, and suffering is widespread. Even the rules Kim survives by are starting to change.
Predators are changing their attitude towards me, where in the past I could sort of read their behavior well and understand it, and now I look more as an intruder, and I don't have that comfort zone that just was there before. So going in there to document this is becoming more and more of a risk to me, and less predictable, which is quite scary when I'm dealing with these big guys.
But as risky as it is for this observer, he knows that it's the combatants who are paying the price. The lions are still taking down game, but only small game. The larger prey seem to have left this desolate place. Young lions are the hardest hit, as the adults dominate the carcasses. The old, too, are on their last legs. Many have already succumbed. The super-specialized cheetahs, outmatched and outcompeted, have abandoned Mala Mala altogether. Even the scrappy Charleston hyena clan is struggling. Its numbers decrease. The conflicts with other predators intensify. But Kim's old comrade seems to be thriving. Chololo. Kim has tracked him through the drought and is surprised to see he's still a killing machine. The leopard, generally only half the size of a lion, is not to be underestimated. 10-foot vertical leap is easy. The leopard can haul twice its own weight, straight up, taking an adult antelope or even a young buffalo into a tree. Massive neck and shoulder muscles, and legs like cocked guns define this cat. The power to airlift raises the leopard out of the two-dimensional world of rival forces. Going up high means he can stash food beyond the reach of the enemy. With the predators at war, Chololo gets his prize off the battlefield as quickly as possible. Satisfied that his dinner is safe, Chololo goes back to night patrol. This time the leopard moves on without his embedded companion. As a combat cameraman bent on capturing the soldier's point of view, Kim has managed to get himself into some interesting situations. His camera sometimes captures more than he bargains for, and a shadow moves under the tree. It's the hyenas. The warriors seem bewildered by Kim's new position. Things are about to heat up. The new face in Kim's viewfinder is a hungry lioness. She seems willing to scale the defenses. If Kim wavers now, or shows fear, he's toast. With a bold stance and a human bark, the lioness retreats. Kim, no worse for wear, gets his shot. A war correspondent's life in this drought-ridden place is dangerous. As careful and as experienced as Kim is, his vehicle testifies to the brutality of life in the bush.
You know, the place is totally unpredictable, and I think fortunately I've spent so much time out here and gained a lot of experience to understand where a lot of these situations are going. I'm getting out of my vehicle to get those low-angle shots. I'm not just doing it for the fun of it. Fortunately, I do have experience where I understand a lot of what goes on, but you know, who knows, maybe one day I won't get it right.
Kim's sources in the bush indicate another lethal fighting force is moving into the battlefield. One so far-ranging that its territory encompasses all of Mala Mala. It's on the brink of extinction. But to watch it work is to understand why it is still among the most feared animals in Africa. Predator war has been raging for weeks in Mala Mala. Now a roving force, undaunted by drought, joins the volatile mix. It's the African wild dog. Smart, colorful, relentless. Wild dogs are Africa's swarming infantry. Lightly but lethally armed, they hunt with martial precision. Their markings work like high-tech camouflage. They're hidden from enemies, visible to friends. Each dog has its own, as distinctive as our fingerprints. These are ancient warriors, descended from the oldest line of dogs. Built for astounding stamina, they can chase prey over miles, for hours, until they run it into the ground. These dogs are dangerous on their own, deadly in a pack. Compulsively and rigidly attached to their units, they have been known to care for their injured. Unlike lions and hyenas, the wild dogs eat in a disciplined, orderly way. Each member of the rank and file has a turn at the carcass. They dedicate themselves single-mindedly to the raising of the next generation of infantry. Though only the leaders of the pack reproduce, the group expects every member to regurgitate rations for the pups. Ritual greetings strengthen the bonds of the unit. Wild dogs tend to have big litters, sometimes upwards of 20 pups. They'll take on any predator, no matter how large, to defend their young. A scout alerts the pack to a nearby presence. A rival. It's Chilolo. The ancient hatred between dogs and cats may find its source here. The infantry is too much for Chilolo, and he airlifts out of danger. Once airborne, he's got nothing to fear from the ground-pounding canines. When he stays aloft, they move off and return to their den. In Africa, threats to young wild dogs are everywhere. But hyenas make them especially wary. Wild dog radar picks up the sounds of nearby hyena activity. The hyenas have taken down a starving yearling. One makes off with a piece toward the nearby woods. Bad idea. He's getting far too close to the wild dog's den. With pups to defend, they're not about to tolerate a hyena in their midst. No single wild dog would have a chance against the heavy armor of the hyena. Hyenas can weigh 150 pounds, twice the weight of a wild dog. So the dogs, about the size of a Doberman, take to the field in numbers and tag team the errant hyena. The arrival of wild dogs in Mala Mala jacks up the pressure. But just as quickly as they arrive, they pull out. Super mobile, they opt for less chaotic territory. Even with their formidable discipline and coordinated attack capability, they'd be no match for the dogs of war about to be unleashed. Starved of rain, Mala Mala is now scorched by heat. Kim has rarely seen it so dry. Never seen the predators so stressed. He thinks new rules are evolving in the contest. The new rules? No rules. Hyenas, the cackling opportunists of Mala Mala, quickly adapt to the chaos. They've taken a keen interest in one of the rival powers, Chololo, hungrily stalking his every move. But it's not the big cat they're after. They want what the big cat's after. Tenacious hunters, they're even better bandits. Chololo is feeling the hyena heat. He quickly muscles his latest meal into the nearest tree before he's even finished killing it. Not a moment too soon. The hyenas are hard on his heels. But Chololo may have miscalculated badly. And the hyenas are making their own calculations. The leopard has chosen too low a branch. A costly lapse in judgment in the predator's war. Hyenas can't climb, but they can jump. And those jaws are relentless. The hyena jaw exerts nearly 1,000 pounds per square inch of biting pressure, and a stubbornness to match. All his hard work for naught. Chololo heads off. And in the nick of time. The Irefield lion pride always dominates the battlefield at night. But in these conditions, that's not enough. No rules means more risks. Lionesses work their dagger-like claws, leaving a chemical marker warning competitors to stay clear of the territory. Tonight, the air rumbles with a promise of tons of meat on the hoof. Meat the increasingly gaunt lionesses badly need. The Cape buffalo have entered this sector, seeking any remaining grasses. The lionesses silently eavesdrop on the perimeter of the herd. Now, Kim is caught with the besieged. Surrounded by bad-tempered buffalo.